Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whenever you're listening. Welcome to the Host Advantage podcast, where I'm joined once again by John.
Hello.
And today, we're finally getting around to it. We're going to talk about Halo. Specifically, we're going to talk about the multiplayer. Been out for a few weeks now, and the
Mm-hmm.
game officially launched a few days ago. So,
And it feels so damn good.
it's pretty amazing.
It's
Like,
yeah. I'm really glad that Halo pulled through on this release because Battlefield sure didn't.
Call of Duty Vanguard sure didn't.
Yeah, that wasn't even on the table.
We don't talk about Vanguard.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, but we definitely needed a win after the tumultuous release of Battlefield. So Halo, I
Yeah,
think, did a very good job stepping in and sort of picking up the pieces and claiming the
yeah,
throne.
absolutely. And it was a low bar to clear, granted, but they passed it perfectly in terms of just the feel of multiplayer.
Yeah.
They did away with a few Halo 5 elements.
Mm-hmm. The thruster pack. Ugh.
Thruster, yeah, rip.
Assassinate. The animated assassinations. The hovering. Uh, I
Yeah,
do miss it, but there are things that sort of filled that void, like the gadgets, which I'm sure we'll get into later. But I think the adaptation from Infinite is just super solid. I think they did a great job.
yeah, and just using just starting off with like the weapons, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, just your base assault rifle and pistol, those just are really solid weapons to have.
Mm-hmm. They feel
Like
great.
usually, yeah, usually you're just pretty quick to like swap them out, and some people might be, but a lot of the times that's what you're stuck with.
Yeah.
And the pistol in particular, it's just so good. It's just so easy to use. Its trigger response is perfect.
Mm-hmm. It's
Spread
super
isn't too
snappy.
bad.
Like
It's yeah,
I
snappy is a
love
good
it.
word.
Yeah.
And then the assault rifle is even good at distance. I know it's like a mid short range weapon, but it feels viable even.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a little too good at distance. I
Hmm.
get really fucking mad when people are lasering me with ARs from like 30 meters away.
Yeah, I get so like panicky. I start
Yeah.
just like rapid firing my pistol. My spread is going all over the place, and they're
Yep.
just like, "I'm gonna use an assault rifle on you."
Yep. Like this guy's about to kill me, but
Yeah.
I got that loyalty to the pistol.
Hmm.
So,
But this is like almost Halo One pistol. Like not as powerful, but like just feels just as good. Like I
hmm
immediately spawn and switch to the pistol. I don't
yeah,
even start
same.
with assault rifle.
Yeah, it's very versatile, which I like.
Hmm. And like a lot of other Halo games, like Halo 3, I hated that pistol, the Magnum. It's
Yeah.
awful. You couldn't even zoom with it. If you did, it just had a scope.
hmm
But
Are
uh,
there any weapons that you think like are kind of boring, other than the pulse rifle, obviously, or the pulse
yeah,
carbine?
I knew what you meant. Pulse
Yeah.
carbine.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
it's never been like a strong weapon in like any of the games. It's always been like that one plasma rifle that does well against shields, but like
mhm.
that's it. Like if you want to go for the kill after the shield's been popped, you got to go with something else.
So one weapon came to mind immediately, but I wanted to address another one before I got to it. The plasma pistol just sucks now.
Yeah,
It's completely worthless. Like I've maybe used it twice successfully, and it's so not worth it. Because
they
by the time,
they just need to bring back the EMP effect to vehicles. That's it.
yeah, I'm surprised they
As
took
a
it away from
start.
that.
Yeah, I don't know why
Yeah,
they'd get rid of that. It was
it was
super like that was one of the only reasons to pick it up in big team. So
yeah.
like now there's zero reason. Like you can't even
Hmm.
noob combo that well because the plasma round doesn't trace or track that well. So
Hmm.
it's shitty. So
And by the time you actually like lock onto somebody, you're dead.
yeah, that's something that I think they should probably buff. Which is weird
Yeah.
because like Halo doesn't feel like a game that needs patches. Like
Hmm.
like in the past, like that was before. Like if we talk about Halo 5, that was like around the start of when games were getting like live service, like patches and tweaking things and nerfing this and buffing that.
Yeah.
But now it's weird that it now falls into that it needs to be adjusted category because like that's just how games are in 2021. So like we got to adjust the plasma pistol, we got to tweak all the other vehicles or weapons or whatever needs tweaking, and it's weird.
Hmm.
I'm not used to that, but
Yeah.
got to roll the punches, I guess.
Yeah. The the weapon that I was originally thinking of was the what is it, the Ravager.
Oh yeah, the that
It's
blankets the ground with a full charge. Yeah, it's pretty weak.
it's so lame. I feel now that the campaign has been out for a few days, I feel like it was made for a brute to use on Master Chief,
Right.
not so much for Spartans to use in multiplayer
Hmm.
PvP style.
Yeah. There's very rare circumstances where it's actually strong, and like
Hmm.
honestly, I feel like it would do better on more condensed maps
Oh yeah.
because that forces people to walk in areas, and the charged shot is good for zoning. But if you're playing on the giant fucking map we played last night 7 times in a row, like I
Yeah,
don't know
we'll
what's
talk about launch site.
yeah, it's completely useless on a map like that because it's so. How to avoid it? You move to your right. Like there's no zoning, there's no cornering somebody. So
Hmm.
yeah, the Ravager is pretty lackluster for sure.
Yeah, and like the fire animation on the ground when it's just sitting there like in a puddle looks awful.
It looks pretty lame. Yeah.
It's just like it looks like a really cheesy fire effect.
Hmm. The I really want to like the Disruptor more, but there's something about it like it doesn't feel like it's strong against shields, even though it should be because it's a shock weapon. And I still don't know how it even works because there's no tutorial like, oh, after, and this is just, I don't even know if this is true, but this is what I feel like is true. If you hit someone with, I think it's 3 consecutive shots, then it does like an arc lightning thing. But like, unless there's, like, once their shields are down, sometimes you'll continue to do damage to them, but it doesn't always work. So I'm still like unclear on how the Disruptor works, and so I rarely use that weapon too. I mean, I know it's good
Yeah.
against vehicles, but other than that, I'm
Uh,
rarely picking it up.
I feel like you hit it pretty well on the head. There needs to be like a really detailed breakdown because I think you're right about the 3 shots,
Uh huh.
and then it'll give like the taser effect where it's like hitting them, but it won't always kill them. I think it's like maybe after like the fifth or sixth direct shot, you'll get the kill from the grave when you die, and
Yeah.
then it'll tase them, and then they'll run away, and then yeah,
Blah.
yeah, the melt. But overall, I think the electric weapons are pretty solid. I think
Hmm.
they're a really nice inclusion. They obviously are the ones that took over the EMP effect over the
Hmm.
plasma pistol, and I
Gotcha.
think they just wanted to like narrow down the EMP effect weapons. But the plasma pistol is just the OG. It's been there since like
Yeah.
Halo 2. It made that effect, and it's been going on for every game subsequently.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah. Same
we're just
thing.
people with a podcast.
Yeah, we're just a couple of schmokes.
Yeah.
But the same thing with the shock rifle. I don't really know how that arc lightning works either.
Hmm.
I think it's on either the first shot or maybe the second shot. I don't know, but I know it's a one-hit headshot, which I don't like because I'm always
Yeah.
the one getting headshotted. Because there's something different about its like tracking reticle system where it's like not as easy to get headshots as it is with like the sniper rifle or the stalker rifle. I don't know what it is. I can't pin it down, but there's something different about like its aim sensitivity or the aim assist on consoles that makes it feel different and
Hmm.
not as strong, at least in my hands. People destroy me with it, but I can't land shit. So
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's like a perimeter sort of thing when it comes
mhm,
to the arc lightning, but I also haven't been able to narrow it down.
yeah. Um,
Uh, the This is one that we talked about when we briefly mentioned when they were giving out like the pre-beta
mm.
stuff, the closed beta to people, and we were watching videos and talking about that. The heat wave. I was like, wow, the heat wave looks awful. And I play it, and I use it, and I'm like, wow, the heat wave is awful.
Yeah,
You have
I'm not a fan.
the horizontal is completely worthless unless you're against a vehicle. And even
Yeah,
then,
it
I'm
still
not
sucks shit. Like,
yeah, I'm not using the heat wave, period.
yeah. The only reason I can see it being like a good use is to get someone in a room that you can't see because the projectiles bounce. That's it.
Yeah.
Like close quarters, I'd still take a pistol or an AR over a heat wave just because it's so inconsistent and
Hmm.
it just doesn't feel strong enough. Um, and I find myself picking up weapons because I'm like bored of using the AR or something because like it's just like, oh, it's a thing I can use that might have like a different the play might go out differently because I had a heat wave. Like I could have shot the guy around the corner. It's like you want to make those plays with those guns that are kind of good because you can like do those wombo combos and whatnot. But yeah, I just wish they were a little bit stronger.
Yeah, the ricochet effect that it has is probably its best benefit, but even then, like,
good luck.
I'm better at grenade throwing than I am with the heat wave ricochet, so I haven't even really tried.
Yeah. I do like the cinder shot though. It is pretty like hectic because like if someone's charging me, we're killing each other because I'm just shooting all over the place and it blows up in this flurry of fireworks and awesomeness. And
yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it looks great.
I am not good at the center shot.
Yeah, me neither.
I know it's powerful. Like I can definitely get completely destroyed by one, but man, like
it takes some learning.
Yeah.
And the firing system it's going to take some getting used to as well, because while we do have a lot of experience with tow missiles on Battlefield, it's still pretty hard to get the muscle memory tweaked to adjust to Halo, so you can get those long distance shots. And yeah.
Although one of my favorite additions to this game is the skewer.
Oh, it is pretty nice.
It's the hype machine.
Really?
Easy.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying to just line up your shot, calculate the wind speed, velocity,
the arc, and
then just let it soar.
Does it have like? Can you get a collateral with it? Have we checked that yet? No, actually, I think it sticks into like the whoever you kill first. Like it just sticks in their head.
It doesn't penetrate through.
Gotcha. Okay, so I guess I wish it did. It's begging to be like it's a javelin basically. Like it's begging to be a penetrative weapon. Giggity. But I guess it's gonna have to stick with the sniper rifle.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and it's really good against vehicles too.
Yeah, it's. I think it's safe to say it's the replacement of the Spartan laser.
Easily.
My only gripe is that it takes so long to reload.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah. And the reload animation, I'm just not a fan of it. Like, I don't like the way he reloads the actual projectile into it, because it's not like you pull the bolt back and it goes like a nice thick. It's like a weird like buckle, like clamp down thing in the top. Yeah, it's kind of funky. And I don't know if this is a console thing, but like when I reloaded, I noticed that there's a definite drop in frame rate, and I don't know if it's on console or PC, and it's just a minor nitpick. I don't know if they're aware of it or if it's just my hardware, but it's pretty cool. It's weird that it's borderline a sniper rifle because it's like, while it can zoom in pretty far, you got to lead the shot, you got to velocity and arc. There's so many factors that go into getting a long range shot, but when you do, oh man, I think it's ballista, isn't that the metal?
Yeah,
it's fucking awesome.
The commando, what are your thoughts on that?
Very much love hate. Because I want to full auto it, but it never pays off. So I gotta there's a lot of trigger discipline on the commando, and sometimes I do really great and sometimes I suck hot shit. So it's very love-hate is the best way to describe it for me.
Yeah, I definitely want it to be better than the DMR, but it doesn't feel like it is. Even though it's the same idea where it's like, okay, controlled bursts, take your time, and you'll get the kills. But it's so easy just to unload the entire clip, but then it's so wild and you're going all over the place that you're missing half your shots.
Yeah. Which is probably like 80% of the time for me. And then I just blame my teammates for losing.
Yeah. That's it's their fault.
Yeah, all the time. There's a stalker rifle as well.
Stalker rifle's good.
I like it.
It's like it feels the most precise, which is weird because there are snipers in this
also
game.
Very snappy.
Yeah.
I like the venting system. It's pretty cool.
Instead
of having just traditional ammo.
Yeah, it's the easiest to get perfects with.
Yeah. 3
headshot
hits
wise.
done. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's the replacement of what was that weapon called? The light rifle, where it's like a
Yeah,
3-hit kill when you zoom in. Yeah, I think that's
yeah.
what they wanted to replace it with.
When it's scoped, especially. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I think the Mangler is rad.
I
It is.
it's it's weird because like it's a close range weapon, but it shoots like a revolver.
Yeah.
So
hmm
yeah, it's
The
interesting.
the drop is huge on
Yeah,
it, but it is essentially a Halo 3 Mauler, and I'm all
yeah,
for it.
yep. They should have just called it the Mauler. It's so close to it already.
Yeah, I
It's
confuse
it's
him still.
it's got a cylinder like a revolver, and it's good for melee because it got some giant fucking saber tooth blades on the front of it.
hmm Yeah, one shot and then one beat down, they're dead.
Yeah, that's pretty ballsy.
hmm
Um, what do you think about the shotgun, the bulldog?
It needs to be stronger. Like, I could be face to face with somebody. I could be bumping helmets with them, and I'll shoot them point blank, and it still takes 2 hits for them to go down,
Yeah,
which
I've,
is a huge contrast from previous Halos where proximity was everything with shotguns.
yeah. It was usually 1-hit kill or 2.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
the
yeah.
line was pretty clear. Like you would know if it was going to be a 1-hit kill or not. The bulldog is not anywhere near as strong as the shotgun we're used to from the last 6 Halos. So
Yeah. Because I compare it to the shotguns in the sense that I'm thinking of infection.
mm.
Like with that game
Okay.
type, when there are 3, 4 zombies coming at you and they're lunging at you and you get the shot off, you'll get the bull true and survive barely.
Yeah.
But if I were to use the bulldog in that game type, if they bring it back, you're dead.
Yeah. You're
There's
so fucked.
no there this shotgun does not work for infection.
Yeah. I think what 343 tried to compensate with was the higher fire rate, and I think it has a bit more range too. While it doesn't have
Probably.
uh like it won't be a 1-hit kill as often, it still reaches a little bit farther. So it's more or less it'll be a 2-hit kill than a 1-hit kill. And so I
hmm
think they tried to make sort of like a short to medium short range shotgun instead of just a close quarter shotgun.
Yeah.
Which, like, they got to branch out. I understand that, but I don't know why they'd get a different shotgun. That's like iconic. Like sniper, AR, BR, rocket launcher. Like I think those are, and pistol. Like those are like the essentials. And they still have the spanker. They still have the BR. They still have the AR. The Magnum is now the sidekick, and then the
hmm
shotgun is now the bulldog. Which, whatever. I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of artistic, creative reason that it was taken out that I don't know about. So
Yeah.
whatever.
I always kind of saw it as like a nice counter to the sword,
Yeah,
but this doesn't do it.
yeah. I mean, that's basically zombies, swords and shotguns.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Exactly right.
I can't see the bulldog holding its weight in
Mm-mm.
an infection game type at all.
No.
Yeah. What other
And
weapons are there?
the only other one that I wanna there's two more that I really want to make mention with
Uh-huh.
the sniper rifle.
Oh yes, of course. How could I forget?
It it's really good,
Yeah.
but its rate of fire has dropped.
I know. It's so,
So
like, oh, the muscle memory has got to
yeah,
adjust.
mhm. We are the old guard, and change is bad.
Yeah.
And we'll complain about it, but it's still a good gun. Like
Yeah.
it still holds its weight and it's still very viable. And I feel like when I do end up landing the headshot, it feels that much sweeter.
It does feel good. Yeah. And I
It
think what
almost makes me like collect my thoughts with it more.
nothing like killing the enemy.
Yeah.
It one thing I would highly recommend, and not just for you, but anybody who's getting it used to weapons, is to go to the training exercises. You can go through and do like a bot uh, run where you have to score like 20,000 points in 30 seconds with a certain weapon. And using the sniper rifle, like you just got to be able to shoot it without knowing you're wasting ammo against like other people. So like you just need that practice to get the timing down and remember like, okay, I got to wait an extra zero point 0.2 seconds to fire the second round or else I'm just going to pull the trigger. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
But those exercises are, they definitely help me get my rhythm in.
hmm The only other gun that I really wanted to point out was the Hydra.
Oh yeah, that was a big change.
Yeah,
Big
it really
change.
was. So your primary shot, it just launches straight forward, no fault, no drop down,
Pretty quickly
uh,
too.
pretty quick, and it's the thing that's weird is that its alternative fire can lock onto somebody and hone in on them when it's launched.
Mhm.
But what took me a while to realize was that the honing is weaker than the straight shot.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I did not
so
know that.
when you're honing on them, it takes four Hydra shots as opposed to I think it's just two direct shots.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So
I'm
it's
learning so much from this podcast.
yeah. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Hmm.
One thing
So
that I when using the Hydra is remember in Bad Company 2 when you would trace a helicopter with the
mm,
dart and then you could lock on and like literally 180 look up in the air and then fire it and the missile will track it all the way. I
yeah.
tried doing that with the Hydra, but the missiles do not turn as hard as the ones in Bad Company, so it's not like you lock on, you can look at the fucking other side of the halo ring you're on and shoot up there and it'll curve. It won't.
Hmm.
It'll only just curve a little bit and then just go on into space. So I
Yeah.
really wish that they could curve a bit more so you could fire around
Mhm.
corners. But
Over cover or
yeah,
something.
that's because that happens a lot in big team when you're out and someone's behind a giant boulder and you still have the lock, but if you turn to try and arc it around, the rocket doesn't turn strongly enough, so it just ends up going behind them. So uh, yeah, it just depends on the situation. I mean, it's perfect against vehicles for sure.
Hmm.
Um, but long range engagements with Spartans, unless they're out in the open, you're pretty much SOL.
Yeah. And then you got the rocket launcher, still
Oh,
great.
yep,
Feels
yep,
good.
feels good. Nothing, almost nothing different.
Yeah, I'm glad they brought back the older look because I didn't like that
uh,
about Halo 5 when they had like kind of the tiers of
oh yeah,
weapons.
I remember
They had
that.
like that single barrel
I
rocket. I did
remember
not
that.
like
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
liked the reload animation for it, but I
Hmm.
mean, the spankers were the way to
This
go.
one, like when you reload this rocket launcher, it's just so chunky. It's just
Yeah, it feels heavy. Like I
yeah.
love that.
And then you have the Sentinel beam, which I'm shocked is still a Halo weapon, honestly. Because I
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
For the sake of having weapons, I guess. But
sure.
I'm rarely picking it up. I'm only picking it up if I'm just like I'm bored of the AR. I just want to use something else, and then I
Mhm.
try to kill someone. They kill me, and then I'm like, never using that ever again.
Yeah. And then Needler. Needler's still good.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I never use
Nothing
it
really
though.
to report. Yeah, it's there's no dual wielding in this game,
Yeah,
which is fine.
yeah. I'll pick it up if I'm feeling like a little bitch, but otherwise,
Yeah. Like I need a kill. I'm -6. I need something cheap.
hmm
So I feel like we can move on to the maps.
I was just thinking I want to talk about maps.
All right. So I think overall the maps are excellent.
Yeah,
Like as a whole, they're so solid. They look good. There's a variety of like color tones and environments
hmm
and what we know Halo to be Halo,
yeah.
and they're all here.
Yeah, and we've been playing for a little over a week, and I feel like I know the maps like the back of my hand already. They
Hmm.
just feel right. The choke points feel exactly where they should be. The points, the objectives, it all just feels very right. Like
Hmm.
well manufactured for sure.
Yeah, and also more impressively, like each map can work with an objective game
Yeah.
type, oddball and flag and
Strongholds.
stronghold. Like
Yeah.
they're or just Slayer too. Like they're
Yeah.
all versatile
Yeah.
in those game types, which
Yeah.
is I think really impressive. It's difficult to do because like when I think of like Valhalla in past games, like yeah, you can do Slayer, you can do territories, but it's always been flag for me.
hmm
Like that's like the ideal map for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But in these ones, like they all feel good, especially like strongholds. I just like running around in a circuit, just capping
hmm
nonstop. And they're like small and confined enough, but not feeling too like claustrophobic.
Yeah. Yeah, they did really they did great with the maps.
Mm.
There's never a point where I'm just like I fucking hate this map except that one map that needs to be 5-on-5 instead of 4-on-4.
Absolutely, launch site.
Launch site.
It's just a big C shape with one man cannon that kind of links to the end.
Yeah, it's way too big for 4v4.
Yeah, and it's the only game type that has one flag, which is weird.
It's so stupid.
And it always ends in a tie.
Always.
Because it's so
0
hard
to
to
0.
capture the flag. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any favorites?
The two that there's actually a few that come to mind. I like Recharge is good, which has like the big like whirling generator, and Streets is good, the outdoors one, with, like kind of like neon aesthetic, and Bazaar.
Bazaar is a lot of fun.
Yeah, the more desert themed.
Kind of like a Wild West a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. More like cloth roofing on stuff, and but even the big team maps feel good. Like Deadlock is nice. It's kind of like the night one with the big cannon that launches fire when you capture something. Live Fire.
Live Fire is my favorite one for sure.
Yeah,
that one's perfect for competitive because the angles are just right, and like the like just thinking about like the active camo spawn, like it's a power pickup, but it's out in the open, so you're kind of exposed. So there's like a little bit of risk to it. Like I love that little touch.
And it's a really good training aesthetic too, and like it feels the most like Arcade Slayer kind of map, which I really dig.
Yeah, I really miss Foundry, and it kind of reminds me of Foundry a little bit, just because it's like it's nice, tight, close quarters. Everything feels great. You know where everything is. I love it.
Aquarius. It's another map. Yeah, they're all solid. Just Launch Site is not my favorite. It's not a horrible map. It's just not being utilized. Types. Yeah, it's just not being utilized to its potential. That's all it is.
Even like a 6v6, like it could borderline be a big team map. It's very close. But 4v4 is just no. It's too big for such a small game.
Yeah. I'm excited because obviously we're going to get new maps down the road, drip fed, and even more exciting when it actually comes out in like, I don't know, 5 months, however long they said it was going to be. When Forge comes out, I'm sure they're going to put a lot of Forge community maps in circulation and multiplayer, because that's what they did previous Halo iterations. Those are a lot of fun. And so long as we have like that open kind of sandbox to have like a blueprint for, I'm really excited to see. So the community is always incredibly talented.
Yeah.
And the good ones surface to the top really quickly, and those are the ones that usually get picked for multiplayer. I'm really excited for those.
I really wish that they had more game types, because I feel like we're beating Oddball and Strongholds to death and capture the flag. And like, I want Fiesta, I want Infection. Like, I'm not bored. I'm just like, I just want just give me another slice. Like, I just want a little bit more, you know?
So this is the part of the chat where we talked about all the good, and the good is really strong.
It's really good.
It keeps us going. But now we're gonna slightly pivot into stuff like game type variety and battle passes.
Oh, I have a lot to say about that. So I'm fucking pissed.
Let it be known that this game is great.
Yeah,
this is a lot of fun.
I think it's game of the year.
I would agree.
Granted, it was released this late in the year. Like, I think this is game of the year.
It's definitely a lot of fun, and the fact that it's free to play.
Yeah.
You know, PC and Xbox, it's hard to pass this one up. But now we're gonna start talking about the things that we want to have incorporated, or we want to be improved. And definitely game type variety absolutely is one of them, because right now you can only choose quick play, ranked, and big team, and then those consist of the pool of Oddball, Strongholds, Slayer, Flag, and you have no choice of the matter which one you want to play.
And why don't you tell them what we wanted to play last night but couldn't?
I just wanted to play Oddball. But boy, would I tell you, it took us close to 15 matches to get an Oddball game.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, if I want to play Oddball, it should be in its own playlist, or in like a smaller playlist with like 2 game types, so your chances of getting it are at least larger than 1 in 4, 1 in 5, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just want to complete some challenges, but you won't fucking let me.
Yeah. I almost feel like they're rigged.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you need an oddball challenge. Well, let's give you more Slayer.
Yeah, it's kind
More
of surprising after like this huge release. It's still like missing things at launch. Which like we talked about oddball and the game types, but like my biggest gripe is the lack of customization, because I have had the yin yang, the red and white yin yang, since the first Halo.
Oh, the yin yang. Good.
Since emblems first were being used in Halo, I've been using the yin yang. It's not even like locked. Like it's not even in the game, and I think that's ridiculous. And I want my goddamn yin yang.
Yeah.
And I want my armor. Can't get it. I want my ODST helmet. Can't get it. It's all like, if there are helmets, they're locked behind a paywall. And after each game, if you unlock, you will unlock the ability to buy it with real money. And that is just such a slap in the dick. Because and it's kind of funny because in Halo 5, they had way too much customization. Like,
it was a little
it was excessive.
Yeah.
Like hundreds of different kinds of armors you can get. And then you can have like hundreds of variants and hundreds of colors. And now it's like, here's a palette. You pick from the palette, or you pick the palette, and you can't like customize each individual color. And you can't customize your helmet, which really pisses me the fuck off. And you have like 3 visors to pick from. What the fuck? I had like 20 to 30 in the last one. Why are they missing so much shit at launch in 2021 with such a big title? Like, that's what I don't get. Like, I hate that we all look the fucking same going into a match, and like the end of the match, like squad pose. That pisses me off so much. I really want, like, customization is so important because it makes you feel unique and it makes you stand out, and like that's what gets my dick hard. But I'm soft with this game because there's just not enough options. Ugh.
To me, I think it's hard too, because when 343 were promoting this game, they were talking about the robust customization that this game would offer you for your Spartan. And it's there, but it's so restricted. There's no breathing room, and there's not everything released at once either, because this is a live service game. It was free, so they're going to make money somehow. Battle passes, daily purchases in your store. Like, in a year's time, there's going to be so much stuff, but right now we're just like gasping for air. Right now, like, to me, like, yes, I want to customize my guy more. It doesn't take away from my experience, but like, I want to look different from everyone else. I agree with you.
Exactly.
For me, I just think it's the most egregious when I can't just choose what color I want and then the detail on top of it. Like, that's been Halo Combat Evolved
standard.
Your primary color, and then as they kind of went on throughout the years of other Halo games, you could choose a secondary color. And then even when 343 took over, you had a third, I believe, color. And it was cool. Like, even in Master Chief Collection, you can choose which color you want, what you want, secondary, your third, your... Now it's like you have 3 pre-programmed color palettes to choose from. There's no altering those palettes. It's just color scheme only, and that sucks. I think that's kind of like the worst. Because like, they'll give you like, okay, you have red, yellow, orange, blue, green, purple.
But
you unlock gray with blue and white, but you can't choose which order you want those in.
And like, part of me is kind of glad that Halo's biggest shortcoming is the customization and not like the gunplay, because like the gunplay is, don't get me wrong, it's crisp, snappy, it's fantastic, so much replayability. I will play this for so fucking long, but god damn it, I want my green Spartan with a purple visor and a fucking unicorn horn come out of his head. Like, I can't have any of that. Like, there's the regular helmet and the samurai suit. Like, those are the only two I see on the battlefield. There's maybe one guy who paid for like some FaZe Clan bullshit or Cloud9 or whatever esports shit that's out there, which looks stupid anyways. But I just want colors to pick, a couple armors to choose, a couple helmets, and a stance. That's it. I just want a little bit of customization, but they are giving us nothing. There is nothing that, like,
if you don't pay for the battle pass, you have scraps.
Yeah, I would confidently say that probably 60 to 70% of Spartans look pretty much the same. There's one, maybe two guys, generous per game, that have paid for their helmet or their flaming pestilence, whatever the fuck it's called. And I just want my Spartan to look fucking cool. That's it.
Yeah.
And that was such like a cornerstone of previous games. Like, there's so many options, so many colors, so many helmets, so many visors, stances. Ugh.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for a Halo Reach system where you win in-game currency.
Yeah, I love that.
And then
credits.
You can choose. Yeah, it's like, oh, this is 20,000 credits. That's a lot. I get maybe like a few hundred each game, but I'll work up to it.
Yeah, I like a respectable grind. Like, yeah. I hate that I use this as an example, but Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, I loved playing the harder difficulties because I knew I was rewarded more currency to use to buy shit. And so we would grind out gold and then get a premium Spectre pack. And it was 99,000 credits. I remember specifically because that's what we always worked towards. But now there's like, I did like the credit system in Halo Reach also. I love that there's something, you gain credits from performance as well. That's another thing that they should add is performance-based rewards. Just because it's so fulfilling. Like, Overwatch has the same problem. There's a currency system, but we have fucking 50,000 coins. There's nothing to work towards anymore.
Yeah.
And with Halo, there's nothing really to work towards except the battle pass. But guess what? You level up, you get a notification saying, hey, spend money on this, asshole.
You don't like this helmet, but you gotta pay for it.
You don't like it? Too fucking bad. I can't believe that's what they're doing, like, so poorly at. But I'm glad it's that and not like something that breaks the game. It's just it's a nitpick at that point. I just wish I could customize. I just want my Spartan to look like it's always looked.
And I think that kind of segues into that reward system you were talking about. They tweaked it a little bit to where completing challenges is not the only way you earn your XP. Now you can finish the game, you'll start off with 300 XP, then the next one will be 250, 200, 100, then 50 from there on, which makes it a little bit more bearable to rank up.
Yeah.
But there is no, like, if I could have a kick-ass game where I did like 21 kills and 6 deaths, it doesn't matter. I will get the exact same amount of XP as the losing team or the person that went.
And fucking 11. Yeah, like, yeah, it's so stupid.
Like, I get it to an extent, like, but like, I would almost rather, instead of taking 1,000 experience to rank up, I would almost rather be like 10,000, but then I'll get 50 for unlocking like a mythic medal, which is like an overkill.
Yeah.
And an extra 50 or 100 for winning the match, and like just slightly more incentivized.
Throw us a fucking bone is basically the theme of our criticisms. Like, give us something. Like, give us a reason to keep playing. Like, without using our wallets. Like, I know we're a little spoiled by Game Pass, but like, I don't want to spend money on cosmetics. But like, it's almost like they're forcing our hand because there's nothing to choose from unless you throw some money in. But like, I don't want to do that. I don't like supporting microtransactions.
Yeah,
rarely. Like $5 here, sure, but like, that's the most. And I hate that.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the whole strategy. Like, hey, the game's free. If I spend $10-15 on it, I didn't pay 60 for it, 65.
Yeah. I hate it's so scummy though. I hate it. Ugh, I hate it so much.
Mhm.
But it's standard. Like, that's what games are now. You release it for free and you make them pay for skins. But like, the fact that there's little to no skins to choose from for the base game just
Yeah.
sucks so bad. I thought when we were playing like before the game released, I was like, oh, this is just because the game hasn't released yet. Like, when they release it, they'll give out more skins. No. Just like before.
Mhm.
That sucks.
We're just hamsters in a cage, drip feeding water.
Yep. Barf.
Yeah. So I wanted to slightly take a step back because there was some stuff that I wanted to talk about when it came to the multiplayer
Mm-hmm.
and talking about the lack of, I don't know, match freedom of choice, I suppose you could say. And even if we did have the option to choose Capture the Flag or Oddball or Slayer, we're still missing a lot of other unique game types like Infection, like
Griffball.
Griffball, like even big team heavies where they like just dump tanks onto you and you just go nuts with vehicles. Like, how many times have you seen a Scorpion tank in this game?
Outside campaign 0.
We literally got a Scorpion tank in the last 10 seconds of one game.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, it flew in. Like, oh, gee,
And
thanks.
it's like, oh, there it is. Great.
Game's over.
Like,
But
it's
Wasps, on the other hand, are fucking. The enemy team gets 2 per game because our fucking dumbass teammates will bail out of it and give it to them. I'm raging. There's so much to love, but there's so much to criticize.
yeah, there's. I don't want to say they're easy fixes because I'm not a game developer. I don't know what they're trying to go for. I don't know the system they're trying to put in place or the feelings that they're trying to give to us. Because, like, yeah, I only get 50 XP per match. I see somebody in the chat box raging, saying to play the objective, and I'm like, hey, it's just 50 XP anyways. Who cares? What does it matter? I'm like, no, I want that. But we had Fiesta for a week.
And it was fun.
And that was awesome. It was like the perfect time to drop it too, where people were still kind of learning how to use the weapons. I'm still learning how to use Cinder Shot.
Yeah.
Like, oh hey, I can actually get a skewer far more often and work on my aim. Oh hey, a sniper, I usually don't get this. I can try and feel good about using the weapons that they have to offer.
Yeah.
And then it's just gone. Like, you don't need to take it away. It's okay to leave it as an option to play Fiesta.
Yeah. I wonder if like Microsoft is urging them to like lean into microtransactions and whatnot so that it makes them more money, because this doesn't seem like something 343 would do. Like, I feel like they would know better, especially in 2021. Like, this game was in development for a very long time. I feel like they would know at this point like what the people want, what works, what doesn't work. I don't know.
I mean, no, that this is like really anti-consumer. Is to do a battle pass and to give you unlocks that you can't actually access, and you got to pay money. And I mean, Halo 5 had the trading card system essentially, where you just buy the box like Mass Effect 3 and Overwatch, and you hope for the best, and there's no real choosing beyond that.
Yeah.
So like they're guilty of doing this stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
But this game delayed a year on top of a 5-year span between this and the previous Halo title.
Yeah.
And, you know, this might be one of their ways that they had to like make up for that lost time. It didn't launch with the new console.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Like, yeah, it had a great backwards compatibility. And Game Pass is awesome. But in terms of like new games, we didn't have a lot.
Yeah. I'm still gonna play the shit out of it. It's just, I'm just gonna bitch about this until it happens.
Yeah, this is why I give that disclaimer.
And,
like, we love this game. We will play it tonight.
And here's the thing: I am willing to spend money on the game. I don't want to, but I'm willing if they have like a clear set. Like, okay, you want ODST helmet? It is $2. Done. Like, I would buy it immediately. But there's no ODST helmet. It doesn't even work like that anyways, because you have to level up your battle pass to get certain items. And I just, hate that. I don't want like I'll grind, but it has to be a rewarding system. Like each game should get you, let's say, 100 for completing it, and then you get an extra 50 for winning, and then you get an extra 50 for being MVP. Like that would be a good baseline. Like reward players for winning, doing good, doing cool shit, getting rare medals, and we'll all be happy. But it's not that way, and I really wish it was.
This just dawned on me right now. This feels like a very hard course correction from Halo 5. Because Halo 5 came out the gates like, we are going for MLG, we're going for the competitive multiplayer experience. We're going to make this into an esports game.
Mm-hmm.
And Halo Infinite is very not that. Like in terms of like the XP, they don't want people to feel bad about it. They want it to be accessible to everybody, the casual gamers, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And like they took away certain aspects that made the skill ceiling a little bit lower for most players, and like but then you have to compromise with, well, we have a lot more people, so how do we?
Yeah, free to play. They're probably racking in a ton of money though.
Oh yeah, like they could have charged $60 and dropped this with the campaign, and then tacked on all the battle pass stuff. But they have people in like the PR departments that know how much shit they can shove down our throats until we revolt. I think like what was it, Battlefront 2 with Darth Vader?
Oh yeah, that was
like that was a
history maker.
It completely spilled over.
Most downvoted comment on Reddit in history.
Yeah, and so they know like, okay, we have a battle pass system. Nobody likes it. So we'll make them so that the unlocks are permanent. They're not like a time sensitive, like, oh, you missed the boat. Sorry, you can't get it. Like, we'll make those forever. Cool. But that's not enough. Yeah. What if we made the game free? And it's like, well, people have a hard time complaining about free stuff.
Yeah. That's the Fortnite approach. It's the Warzone approach. It's the Apex Legends approach. It's now the PUBG approach because that shit's free and free to play.
Mm-hmm. While we're talking about free to play, do you still think there's going to be a battle royale in Halo?
Here's the thing. I don't know how it would work out, but we do have that voice line of the guy saying battle royale. Like, I think that's pretty definitive that it is coming. I just don't know how they're going to do it. Like, if it's because I'm thinking about like the biggest map they have, like, and the first one, ironically enough, is Valhalla that comes to mind, even though it's not even in the game. But like, even a battle royale on that map it'd be too small. It'd have to be like 20 players. Like, it'd be, so I don't know how they're gonna do it. And that's all I'm gonna say.
You know, I mean, they do have a massive map in Halo, and it's the campaign.
That's true.
So
that's a good point.
They could do something with that if they wanted to. They've gone on record. I don't know if it was a Twitter comment on the official Halo account or something. They're like, the only BR in Halo is the battle rifle.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like their way of like, we're not doing battle royales. But I think it's with the satisfying gunplay that it has, with the open world that they have in the campaign, that they could probably tweak a bit, move some landmarks around, have some drops.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of the bones already. And if they do something, they don't have to throw out the old rule book and fix what isn't broke. But you know, so long as they have like a gulag system or like a revive system, like an Apex and Warzone, like, that's when I started to enjoy battle royales a little bit more. When it wasn't, all right, you're dead, done deal, bye, back to the main menu.
Yeah. Loading screens being the BR for us. But like the forgiving system of the gulag, the second chance kind of deal, you can buy your teammates back. That was very appealing to us, and I think everyone, because Warzone is like fucking doing great right now.
Despite what people say, it's still got a lot of numbers.
I am certain that if Halo does release a battle royale, it'll get ripped to shreds, because everyone's going to be like, not every game needs a battle royale. Why are you releasing this is Halo, goddammit. But like, you gotta roll with the punches. Like, battle royale in the last 5 years has been fucking insane. Like, so much money has been made off of battle royales. PUBG, Fortnite, Apex, Warzone, like so much money in circulation from those. And if you add that to a already popular game, that's a shit ton of revenue. And again, free to play. There's more reason to come back to it. Yeah. And with the variety of now an extra game type of Battle Royale, that could be really appealing. As long as they keep their base games, they don't even need a Battle Royale. But if they did, and it does well, then this could be a new big step for 343.
Yeah.
I just don't know how it'll work. Because, like, Sniper's a one-hit headshot. Like, you're just gonna get, like, that would dominate a Battle Royale game.
I mean, aren't snipers normally one hit? Well, then you go down.
I mean, but it's like sniping in Halo feels a lot easier than sniping in any other game because it's like instant. Like the bullet travels. There's no wind. There's no drop. Like it's just a straight line, boom, headshot, done deal.
Right.
But like in other games, it's like you got to lead the shot a little bit. The reticle is like super tiny, and it's so much harder to get a headshot because your hitbox is so much smaller. But in Halo, I just don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, it would be a huge departure from what we like Halo to be, which is the arcade shooter.
Yeah.
Like a little bit more the lighthearted, but like really good.
Yeah, as long as they stay true to like the multiplayer and don't like abandon it for BR, then they'll be fine. Like multiplayer is what brings people back. And if they keep their team on their multiplayer, adding content, adding maps, weapons, whatever, skins, fingers crossed, then we're right as rain. But if they start a battle royale and do all hands on deck and abandon multiplayer and stop giving out game types, events, skins, whatever, then that'll be a problem. But I trust 343 to know what is good for their game and what isn't, because they're not published by EA. So
yeah, for real.
So yeah,
if there were to be a battle royale, it's not going to come out this year. Like it's not going to come out in the first year time frame because they're working on Forge mode, co-op for campaign, fixing the progression system. They stated like they have a lot of other things under their belt to kind of feel like this game will be like the 1.0, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
because like not having co-op campaign really sucks.
Yeah,
especially with how good it is so far.
Yeah, it is very solid, and I'd love to play it cooperatively, but I can see why they didn't have it at launch, because the campaign is far different than previous campaigns. It's very reminiscent of Far Cry, where you're free to go to this outpost and liberate it, or save these hostages, or take down this high value target. I really like that. It's just so different than before, because before it was very linear. Everything is spoon-fed to you. This is what the story is. This is Spartan Locke. You're never going to see him ever again because he's irrelevant. But like this one, like there's still story, there's still dialogue, there's still a story to follow. But it's like now you do it at your own pace, and now there's stronghold or FOB forward operating bases, FOBs, and it's so Far Cry-esque, but I don't even care because everything is fun. Like, and that's one thing I forgot to mention when we were sucking the game's dick, was the gadgets are so much fun. The repulsor, the grapple shot, the sensor dart, the dashing, the shield, like everything is super super fun. And it's one of those things that, like with Overwatch, you can chain things together and makes like an awesome combination. You get an overkill, whatever, awesome. But in Halo, you can now like, oh, there's a guy with a sword chasing me. I can just repulse him and pick him off while he looks like a fucking idiot. Like, those are especially the grapple hook. It's so cool because you can get across the map in like half a second. And there's just so much potential for those awesome clutch plays, gaming highlight clips, all those montages. Like, there's so much potential for awesome things to happen because of those gadgets. Do you have a favorite that you like?
The repulsor's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I think that one,
especially with vehicles.
Yeah, exactly. Just like knowing, like, oh, you think you're gonna get me? Okay, let's play chicken.
Boom. Environmental. I never think environmental kills are coming to Halo.
Yeah, and like my least favorite is the shield, the drop shield. It's just it doesn't do enough. I feel like it's mostly supposed to be for like grenades.
It's very weak. Yeah, like a couple bullets and you already punched out a window. But like it's good
Mhm.
for like if you're one shot and you just need then to the protection against that last headshot, then it's good. But it takes a while to deploy
Yeah, you
and
throw your arm out, it lands, and then it
wait.
pops up.
Yeah. It's a little slow, but
Hmm.
I hope they're actively taking notes on what feedback they're getting, and they're like, okay, we're gonna tweak this, make sure this is 1 second instead of two because it's a little short, and make this reload animation faster. Like I hope they're taking notes on little things to tweak here and there.
Yeah, I was actually was talking to a friend, and we were talking about Halo Infinite when it first came out, and we were just kind of compiling our thoughts, and we were talking, and we got to the point where it's like, okay, it's called Halo Infinite, not Halo 6. This is the third in 343's mainline Halo trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And they learned a lot from Halo 4. They learned a lot from Halo 5 Guardians. And this one is very much like the culmination of all Halo games
Mm-hmm.
into one, to the
Right.
point where it's like you can see the bones in Halo 4 with the ordnance drops
Yep.
that just fall. You've got the gadgets, which are incredibly reminiscent from Reach and even Halo 3.
Mm-hmm.
And even like the sound design when your shields are recharging,
Yep.
Halo Combat Evolved. Like
Hell yeah.
this feels like it's kind of like the melding of all of that, and I think that's why they called it Infinite and didn't
Yeah.
give it a number.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Smash Ultimate. Like it is just the best
Yeah.
of what
It's
it
like the
is.
final product of the culmination of everything before it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Hmm.
took all the good stuff from the previous games and just made it into a super game. That's how
Hmm.
it feels.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
And call me crazy. This is my tinfoil hat theory, but you could argue that Halo 4 and Halo 5 look better than Infinite graphically. Halo Infinite looks gorgeous, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the amount of detail that they put in towards like Master Chief's armor, they
Mm-hmm.
tried to like make it more grounded or like realistic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's kind of bulkier, it has like a lot more bolts in it, and you can kind of feel like they had to make that armor in real life and then they designed it in the game. Like
Uh-huh.
this is what it would be if we were to make a super soldier armor set.
Mm-hmm.
We are like now completely away from that. And we're back to the more Halo 2, Halo 3 armor scheme. And call me crazy again, but I feel like they did that for a few reasons. One, because they knew it appealed to the fans, especially OG Halo fans. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is more of what I wanted. It's more nostalgic. It's more of what I believe Halo to be. And two, Halo 5 didn't have split screen co-op for its campaign. I don't even think for its multiplayer either.
Huh.
And that was a first in the franchise, if I'm not mistaken, which was pretty big. A lot of people were quick to point that out and to dog on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was the case because it was so graphically intense, they had to cut that.
Huh.
So I think yes, we have better hardware now with current gen
Yeah.
consoles, Series S, Series X, but also like they're not focusing so much on the graphics that they can actually like take that extra space and put it towards campaign, split screen,
Mm-hmm.
co-op.
Right.
That's my hat's coming off.
Keep it on. It makes good content.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was playing the campaign, I'll be honest, I teared up a little bit because
Oh,
there
really?
was so much nostalgia. Like,
Yeah.
damn, I played this like a game in this franchise over 15 years ago, and like I met Master Chief. We we got our first, like we saw him with the AR, like the signature weapon, and he's doing all this cool shit, and he's been going through so much, and then you see him in this. It almost feels like a final installment, like a final product of like this is the best we got campaign wise, and like it was when he was in that little ship with 216 Echo 216,
Hmm.
and like he's just very devoid of emotion, and he's just still got his like status report. Like he's
Yeah.
very direct about what he wants, and like it just felt so like, this is Halo, and it feels so good to be back with the Chief, like the Master Chief, Spartan 117. Like, of all the franchises, like Call of Duty, Battlefield, they've been around for just as long, if not longer. But Halo, it has like, they're still true to like the Spartan 117 Master Chief. Like, he's still the fucking badass that he is, and it doesn't feel like oversaturated at all. It feels true to the original game, which just felt like, it made me feel like I was taken back to when my brother skipped school to play Halo 2, and it was just like, oh, this is so fucking cool. Like, there's jackals and they got shields and there's battle rifles. It's so cool. And now it's so much time later, and it's still got that charm to it that just feels so right. And I loved it. I love it so much. And I was just like, damn, Chief is still going. Like, it was almost motivating. Like, he's still going. He's still fighting the good fight after all these years. It just felt good.
Yeah. This is easily the most excited I've been for a Halo campaign too. Like,
yeah, and it's good. It's not cheesy. There's no Spartan dickhead lock. None of this weird
baby.
shit. Yeah. All Chief.
I have a nice quote to end on, but I didn't want to say it right now because I feel like it's a good sign off. Is there anything else that you wanted to bring up about the multiplayer or Battle Pass or maps, guns, gadgets?
Not really. I mean, the last thing that we mentioned were the gadgets, and the grapple shot. Just, that was the last thing I wanted to mention. It just feels great. Like, I feel like people have picked, like, it seems like something that would be difficult to be good at, but it feels like very, like, when using the grapple shot, I feel like my accuracy is so tight that I could like look up at like the corner of a building and grapple it and slingshot myself onto like a target on the ground. It feels so well mechanically. And I appreciate that, because I'd imagine programming and coding the physics behind that must be a pain in the ass. And so I appreciate that it feels the way it does, because it feels very good. It feels right. It feels like I've never been like, oh, that should have landed, or oh, like it always feels right. And so I think they did a fantastic job on the grapple shot.
I'm glad you mentioned the physics. There was one more nitpick that I had that's specifically for this game and no other Halo games before, and it's kind of a weird decision, and I'm not sure why they did it. In multiplayer, there is no collision between you and another player, and that includes the enemy team. And what that means is that we could both walk straight at each other and phase through each other.
That's weird. I never noticed that.
We don't bump into each other. And that's really odd. I have a few ideas on like why they did it, but anyways, like you could have done it so that like, oh, if there are tight spaces, there's no Spartan trying to like jump over each other, and they're not like awkwardly bumping in and stuff. But like, then you just make the maps a little bit bigger, or like you open up a doorway a little bit so that doesn't happen as much.
Yeah.
But the main issue with that is when it comes to the melee system. So normally 2 Spartans touch each other, beat down. It's usually in a draw.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you're a little bit delayed, like your fingers aren't working the way they should be, or you're not as reactive as you need to be, I will hit you, but then you'll keep walking forward, and then you'll phase and then beat down, and you'll get a back smack on me.
Damn. Never had that happen to me, but that sucks.
Watch out for it. Now that I've mentioned it, like, you'll kind of see it a little bit more often. It's the only weird thing that I don't understand why they did that. It's just having no collision.
I do appreciate that they added an FOV slider on a console, though. That's really nice. And you can adjust your graphics for performance or just, you know, better looking textures and whatnot. I love that. I, of course, set it to performance because I love a nice refresh rate. But one thing that I forgot to praise, and we fucking love this, fusion coils. You can throw that shit. It feels so good. Like a true, like, yeet, like that. Especially with the grapple shot. Like, bringing it towards you, it's just like you're going fishing. Whoop, bring it towards me. Just, you see a warthog coming, you kind of anticipate where he's going to go, and you just yeet that shit, and it blows up, and it feels great. Like the explosion's great on the shock coil, fusion coil, the hard light coil. I don't even know what the fucking other one's called.
Blast one.
Yeah. The throwables feel really good, and you throw them fast too. It's hard to avoid them. Got Randy Johnson pitching these fucking fusion coils at people.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because I remember when I first saw that like grapple and then catch the fusion coil and throw it in like the first campaign trailer they showed like over a year ago. I'm like, that looks dumb. Like, who's gonna do that?
Yeah,
but it feels so good.
Yeah, they did a great. I remember seeing that too, thinking like, that's fucking dumb. Like, I'm just gonna shoot them. Why would I bother getting a fusion coil to throw at them? But like, then you throw it, and then you get a feel for how the mechanics work and what the hitbox is on the fusion coil and how big it blows up, and it just feels so damn good.
Just that throw, like it sails.
I'll go out of my way to get a fusion coil. I'll walk past a disruptor, a heat wave, and pick up a fusion coil and yeet that shit because it feels so damn good.
So long as there's nothing outside of your peripherals, a corner or a wall, you're golden.
Yeah, because he throws it like, if the reticle is right here, he throws it just a little bit over it. So if you're in a doorway, you'll probably hit that threshold and blow yourself up. So there's definitely some getting used to for it, especially for hitboxes.
I love the Kong medal you get for it. I don't know what it is about Kong, but like it just feels so like Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good one.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that. Sucking Halo off so hard, I forgot about the fusion coils. But yeah, overall, it's been a great experience, and I hope that they listen to the community and give us what we want, or else no. But it'd be nice because, just having that connection between the community and the developers, knowing that they can hear us, and we don't like this, please get rid of it, or we want this, please bring it back. Like, that's the kind of shit that I like.
Yeah.
And so I hope they do that.
So now that we're finally wrapping up, I wanted to quote an article. I follow a gentleman called Gene Park on Twitter. He's a journalist for the Washington Post. And he, with a spoiler-free review of the campaign, he wrote, quote, "Finally, Halo remembers we are not meant to look into Master Chief's eyes. We're meant to look through them." And when I read that, I was like, that is so amazing. That is so perfect.
Damn.
I feel like that, because I remember the second I read that, I thought about, I think it was the end of Halo 4. It was your legendary special ending for completing the campaign, and the helmet comes off, and you just see a very tight shot of Chief's eyes, and he's like very old and withered. And then it cuts to black in like a split second. Like, you don't even have time to like really process what you just saw. And like that was like a very emotional journey for Chief, because he's like, Cortana is dying and I need to save her, and this is like the most emotional journey he's been on. And we're meant to like see him at eye level, but they've learned over the years, and this time, like even in the beginning cutscene with the Brute just like tossing him around like a rag doll, like we're seeing through the visor as he's dropped. Like it's I feel like that was a perfect summary of the improvements that they made and the direction they took in the best possible way. So that wraps up the podcast.
I'm just sitting here like, oh, damn, this fucking...
Just light your cigarette.
I need a cigarette. Yeah. Woo.
Well, we hope you enjoyed listening to two bros ranting, praising one of the oldest franchises we've ever experienced together. If you liked it, let us know. Comment anything that we might have missed, anything that you like about Halo Infinite multiplayer campaign. We'll probably talk about campaign another time once we actually completed it and digested it. Maybe co-op comes out.
Finish legendary mode.
Exactly.
That'll be fun.
We're going to tackle it.
We'll probably put that video on Jadon channel.
Heck yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
So thank you all for listening, and have a good day.
Thanks, guys. Be well.
Bye.
Peace.